Hey everybody, what is up? Fourth Serif here, and today I'm going to be bringing you my opinion on the top 5 underhyped designer brands. So let's go ahead and get right into it. I know that this setup I have right now is not ideal. I just want to let you guys know that I do have some more gear coming. The videos are going to get better. It's going to be less echoey. This house it's such a big room that it echoes really bad. I know if you guys are into audio and stuff, you probably noticed that. And I won't have to film right here where it's super, super hot. The sun is shining in on my back. Our house gets super hot. We live in Washington. No AC, like you have to be super, super rich to have AC in Washington. No houses come with it for whatever reason. So it's like 90 degrees in my house right now, so it's almost unbearable. But let's get right into the video. So for number 5, I put this brand here because I think it's kind of an entry-level designer. I would still call it a designer brand, but that is Diesel. That's actually what I'm wearing today, both my shirt and my pants. I think they make some great stuff. It's a pretty reasonable price. So they actually were the ones who started the kind of sweatpant jean thing. They invented that material. So the material that they use is actually proprietary to them. None of the other brands that have tried to do it can use that same material, which is why I think almost all the time they don't look good unless they are actually from Diesel. The Diesel ones, you cannot tell that they are not real jeans, that they are sweatpants, but they're super, super comfortable. Pretty much all I wear for pants, they are fairly expensive. They'll run you like minimum $250. Diesel's second brand is called Black Gold, and they make some really amazing things as well. Diesel does great leather jackets, great jeans, use super nice hardware, and it's all really cool and unique styling. So I think that they are definitely an underhyped designer brand. Up next is definitely a brand that you guys know about, but I think it does not get the recognition it deserves. Even it was kind of flying under my radar until recently when I decided to look at some of their stuff online and realized how amazing it actually is. It's definitely much more expensive than Diesel, that really high designer price point that you guys would probably be expecting, and that is Balmain, or as rappers like to say, Balmain, because then it actually rhymes with stuff. But they invented biker denim. You know, I'll throw a picture up on screen of some classic Balmain pants you guys can see if you don't know what I'm talking about. But they really make amazing stuff. I was looking through their whole collection and I thought it was super cool streetwear. Their jeans are amazing. I don't have any. They're ridiculously expensive. I honestly don't know even on sale if I would ever buy pants that expensive. Not really something I'll look into, but I like a lot of their t-shirts. I might cop one of those at some point. I think their stuff is really amazing though, and definitely does not get the recognition it deserves when there's a lot of designer brands out there right now doing nothing special and just being super popular for it. All right, let's go ahead and hop into the next one. Next up, this is definitely one you guys know about, but have probably never even thought about wearing. Number 3 is Burberry. Burberry is super unappreciated, I think. I think it's because it's such a classic designer. It's been around for so long. Thomas Burberry actually invented the trench coat, so it's definitely been around for a ton of time, and so it's really popular with older generations, and so I think probably younger people don't even really think about it at all, but they make awesome outerwear, beautiful jackets, great clothes, their suiting is super good, and they make some really cool streetwear fashion as well. They collaborate with a lot of really unique artists and people, and they've made some awesome stuff in the past. Really, Burberry, every category for them is pretty strong. Their big check print is super cool. I'm not really a fan of the 90s really small check print. I think that's pretty ugly, but that's been one that they've pushed really hard and it's actually been super successful. And recently they've really been trying to rebrand to be more hip and fresh and young, and they just hired Givenchy's creative director, so I definitely think that here pretty soon in the next few seasons, once they have taken over, that it is going to be super fire and super popular once again. All right, next up, you guys knew this was gonna be on this list if you've seen any of my other videos, because I probably always talk about this brand. And coming in at number 2 is Rick Owens. Rick Owens is one of my favorite designer brands. I don't have a ton from them, but I really want to build my collection. It's just extremely expensive, and so I've only been able to get a few pieces so far. I actually will have some new stuff to show you very soon. That was a car driving by. Hopefully you guys didn't hear that, but I have to keep the doors open so that it doesn't get too hot and I get heat stroke. But Rick Owens is a dope brand. The reason I think Rick Owens is so good is because especially a few years ago, people weren't really experimenting a lot with new silhouettes. What I mean by that is, like, especially for shoes, before Adidas was really trying to do a bunch of new cool stuff, even most shoes, especially high tops, were really just the same silhouette as like a Jordan. And they might be different materials or different things, but they were that same silhouette. And Rick Owens came on the scene and he did all new silhouettes. All his shoes are super unique silhouette. They're all really well made. Same thing, he was one of the pioneers of the tunic t-shirts. He was doing it like 10 years ago when everyone thought that that was just a guy wearing a dress, and now every guy in the world is wearing tunic t-shirts, or at least has one. And so he kind of pioneered some of that stuff and made a lot of things that are popular now popular, and was doing it way before it was cool. And I think he just makes awesome stuff. It's been super consistent. It was super unique and it's super out there, but he's really been able to stay fairly relevant for a long time. Again, this is a designer brand that you guys might know a little bit about, but I don't think it gets nearly the amount of appreciation it deserves. It used to be almost impossible to find anywhere. Now they've made it a little bit easier. Some of the bigger box stores carry it and different places, but it used to be like so rare and so impossible to find for how cool it was, and I'm glad to see it finally getting some recognition. But for how much amazing stuff he makes, I think it definitely should be talked about more. All right, finally, for my #1 spot for the most underhyped designer brand is actually the most hyped designer brand on my list. But I think this brand is so good that even though it's definitely the most popular of any of the ones I mentioned, it is still super underappreciated. And that is Versace. Versace has been around for a while. You probably know it. Every rapper in the world wears Versace. A bunch of people have it. It's kind of similar to Gucci in the same kind of class and tier and price point, but Versace is way more exclusive. And I think a lot of the reason it's underhyped is actually Versace's own fault. See, Gucci and Versace are similar but completely different business models. Gucci has tried to be everywhere. It's in every mall, every Nordstrom, every Neiman Marcus, every Saks Fifth Ave. They have stores all over the place. Versace doesn't sell to anyone. They have their stores. They have 3 boutiques in the US that carry first line Versace and a few stores in New York. But Neiman's in any of their smaller stores or Saks in any of their smaller stores do not get Versace. So it's like Gucci, but 100 times more exclusive. And they make wild and crazy stuff. Their suits are super classic. Their t-shirts are crazy. Their jackets are crazy. Their jewelry, I think, is the best fashion jewelry out there. I think one of the reasons that they can be a little hit or miss with some of their categories, and that's why maybe they aren't as popular as they should be, because like right now, I don't think their shoes are as good as they've been in the past. They're kind of just average. But Versace's always trying to do new and crazy stuff. Gucci relies really heavily on the Gucci pattern, which, don't get me wrong, is beautiful. Same with what Louis Vuitton does. But if you see anything Gucci that's not standard, that's not just the standard Gucci pattern, it's probably pretty unrecognizable. And Versace does more of that type of stuff. Now, everything might have the Medusa or the Greek keys, which are their symbol, but it's not quite as recognizable as maybe a Louis Vuitton or a Gucci pattern. And they're always trying to experiment and do new and crazy stuff. There's more, instead of just a pattern that's iconic to Versace, it's more just a look. It's an aura around stuff. But all of their stuff has been so cool, and you can really do a head-to-toe outfit. Both their men's and women's has always been amazing, and they do some really wild stuff that is completely unique to them. They do crazy print silk shirts, they do amazing big gold jewelry, and all of it is definitely been worn by a ton of celebrities, a ton of people. But I think because it seemed so exclusive that it hasn't really gotten as popular. I know I watch a lot of fashion YouTubers, and none of them seem to really be talking about Versace. They go to Gucci and shop every week, and they're not going to Versace, and I think that's a huge missed opportunity because their stuff is absolutely amazing. But anyways, guys, that's my list. I would love to know what you guys think about any or all of these brands, and what are some ones that you think are underappreciated or underhyped. Make sure to hit that subscribe button. Stay tuned, gonna have some dope unboxing videos for you. Some of the designer brands I mentioned today. I really look forward to it. Until next time, I'll see you online.